Well, blue-eyed cicadas are quite rare. I've had people estimate they were like 1 in a million. From my own experience, I've seen in 2021, I had two reports of blue-eyed cicadas, and I had over 500,000 photographs. So that's 1.25 million. That's still pretty rare. Uh, this is only the uh, third blue-eye cicada that I have seen reported to cicada safari this go around. But so that would make it a little more common, like one in every 20,000. But again, they are not common. Typically, periodical cicada eyes are red, and the difference between that and the blue ones has to do with the pigments are found in their compound eyes. The periodical cicadas that we normally see with the red eyes are absorbing all the wavelengths of light except red, so it's reflecting the red to us. In this case, it's absorbing the red and it's actually reflecting more of the shorter wavelengths, making them appear blue. What's also interesting are those little black dots that you see in the compound eyes, and it makes it look like it's looking right at you, and that's called the pseudo pupil. And it's where the ommatidia, which is the functional portion of the compound eye, all the light's going right straight down and not reflecting back around it, so it looks like a dark spot, like our pupil. We don't know what about the genetics of this, and I have not the specimen, for example, from the photograph that you have, you can't sex because the uh, the naughty bits are not being shown, and and so we can't tell what the sex is. Cicadas have a 1-to-1 sex ratio, so odds are that we've had some males and some females, but we're not sure what would happen with crossing with these things, simply because we'd have to wait in some cases 13 or 17 years to find the offspring, if we could find the offspring. Oh, we had one from North Carolina. We found them here, not this year, but in previous years from Cincinnati. We've the other ones are, I believe, it was in southern Missouri, but it's a sort of haphazard event. It's something you can't predict. I've never found one myself. I've had people bring me blue-eyed cicadas, but I've never had the pleasure of discovering one. Because the cicadas are occurring in such a large area, already in Georgia and in North Carolina, they're beginning to quiet down because they're approaching their fifth week since the emergence started, and so. But in northern Illinois, it's just beginning, and so it's been this sort of a much more elongated process since they started coming out in the middle of April in the south, and are now just beginning to come out in parts of northern Illinois with brood 13.
Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Professor. Thanks for your time.
You're more than welcome. You have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
The app is called Cicada Safari, and it was developed to help us map where the periodical cicadas are. Crowdsourcing for periodical cicadas goes back to the 1840s, so this is not unusual to enlist citizen science in this project. And but the development of the app has allowed us to get even better quality data, because in the past, people used to say, we've got periodical cicadas here, but people like myself could not see what they were looking at. Now we get a photo voucher of what they're seeing, but also the metadata includes the longitude, latitude, date, and time, so we know exactly where and when they were seeing these cicadas. And that just means that the quality of the data is much stronger, and we're also getting a lot more of it. In 2021, I received over 500,000 photographs of periodical cicadas. Already this year, I'm over 40,000. Well, I'm very gratified that so many people are using Cicada Safari and sending us the information we need about what's going on this year. But what Cicada Safari has done is turned our ability to appreciate the emergence into a more real-time event. For example, on April the 14th, the first cicadas started emerging in Augusta, Georgia. I knew about it within 12 hours. I knew 5 days later. I knew when they were singing. In the past, my colleagues and I would have to sort of guess, looking at temperatures. I wonder what's going on. So we drive to places and stop and ask gas station attendants and restaurateurs and whatever, have you seen this? And now we can actually see where they're emerging, how many are emerging in that given location, and we can drive right to that spot to find it. And so that's what's made it so much easier and so much more fun.